Hi guys, so we're back. I wanted to introduce you to my husband. This is Mac.
Hi.
And we were just going to do a short little video about maybe some caretaker tips and tricks for dealing with someone who has functional neurological disorder. As you can see, the backdrop is different. We are in Savannah for the weekend. Monday is my birthday. We are staying at the Foley House Inn, and it's supposedly haunted. And we have a lot of fun things to do. We're only going to be here a couple of days and then we have to go back to our normal lives. But I wanted to give Mac a chance to talk or give any tips or just sit here and agree with whatever we say. So anyway, you want to talk, Mac?
I just think that whenever patience is the number one thing you need whenever being married or caring for someone with FND. It's very hard on them, and you got to understand that it's very hard on them. And sometimes I don't have patience, and sometimes I get short, but then I have to think, what if you were going through what she's going through? And so you just have to make sure you take care of them and watch them and be there for them, because a lot of times they just need somebody. They just need someone to talk to, not someone to take care of them. They just need someone to listen. If she's having a bad day, I'll listen. If she continues on with it, I'll tell her, okay, let's try to change the subject, or let's go do something to get your mind off of this for a little bit or something. And we just have to work around it. And sometimes it's hard, but it's hard for her. It's more hard for her than what it is for me. All I got to do is lend a listening ear, a caring hand, and a shoulder if she needs it, and just take care of her.
That's pretty much it. Mac's really good about learning my medications. So if you guys have a spouse or a partner or a caregiver that you have around, whether, that could be a parent, or maybe you have, a child that's an adult or an older teen that can kind of help manage. I've seen videos of people with FND just completely fall out on the floor or faint or do other things. I've only fallen out one time, and my experience with that was I was standing in the kitchen and I was gonna wash dishes, and then it felt like someone had just threw a brick and kind of hit me in the forehead, and I had enough time to tell Mac, I'm going down, and then I was down. And I was down probably about 45 minutes before I could stand back up. And it was like a combination of it really felt like head trauma, like someone just took, you had a car accident or someone took a hammer and hit you in the head, or kind of something like that. And then it kind of came with vertigo and some stuttering and a few other things like that. So Mac was able to just make sure that I was okay and nothing was around me, that I could injure myself and get my medication. So that's another kind of tip if you have caregivers, to make sure that they're aware of the certain medications for certain things. Like I've talked about before on this channel, my doctor says you can't cure most of your symptoms. You can only treat the symptoms, if that makes sense.
You can't cure the disorder. You have to treat the symptoms.
That's better words.
And then, whenever she fell out, tip for that, only thing you can do is be there. Make sure she doesn't get hurt. Make sure the person with FND, make sure they don't get hurt, whether it's a him or her. Just make sure they don't get hurt, don't hurt themselves, and just stand there over them or sit down on the floor with them and just be there for them. Because if not, if you walk away, they think you have deserted them. And a lot of things that people don't understand is you have to watch your words with someone with FND.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give you an example that our psychotherapist actually said. He said that I could walk up to Angela and say, I don't hate you, and not mean anything about it. But she's going to think that, well, you don't hate me, but you don't love me. You didn't say you love me, so you know. So that's just, you have to kind of be careful with words. You can, and expressions on your face. Because if they see an expression on your face, or if they hear a tone in your voice, anything, you just have to watch what you're doing, because you need to make sure to let them know that you're there for them, and you're going to be there and take care of them. No matter how hard, how bad the situation gets, you're going to be there, because that's the biggest thing they need, is security and feel safe. One example, I had to go out and do a few things, and she sent me a text message, and every single bit of it was spelt perfectly correct, just backwards. So if someone with FND sends you a text message and you can't understand it, and if you look at it backwards and you still can't understand it, then you need to give them a call. Call them and make sure they're okay, because maybe she can't see, maybe her eyes are blurry, maybe she can't see well, maybe she can't see at all, or him or her. And just make sure they're okay. You just have to check on them. I go to work, and every break I check on her, make sure she's okay. I have her phone set up to where all she has to do is hit SOS on it, and it comes straight to me. And she can do that blind if she needs to. So, you need to just set up everything. You have to change the way you look at everything.
And speaking of that, like, we really had to kind of accommodate the house in some ways. Like, Mac and I are very much maximalist. We are not hoarders, but like I've said before on this channel, we do resell, but I love to collect things. I have crystals, I have like a lot of vintage items, antique items, wall art, just things like that we just love, that we've ran across while we've been sourcing. And we had to kind of like make sure in our house that there's not something sharp, don't baby proof, like don't take this like to the extreme, but you just want to make sure that the person with FND is able to get around. If sometimes FND will put you in a wheelchair or one of the rollators, and so you want to make sure that your house is equipped for that, or there's not anything that you can stumble on to trip up or to catch a wheelchair on. I know a lot of people who get FND and they get in a wheelchair, and it takes them months to get out of the wheelchair, and you have to do physical therapy. And so what I do with my FND is I see my primary care regularly. I have a therapist that I talk to, and we have medication. Fortunately, I haven't had to have any sort of rehabilitation type, but I haven't got to that extreme point yet. And so some people's FND can come on in the extreme and just automatically kind of put you out, and you're in a wheelchair and that's it. And some people with FND, it comes on with minor things, like I talked one of my episodes about one of the first ways we knew something was wrong was when Mac opened the car door for me and he got doused with an ice water full of Yeti. Or a Yeti full of ice water.
Yes.
See there, I went with the words.
I told her she was just doing that, but come to find out it wasn't.
Yeah. And so even the lady that Mac and I think I've told y'all, Mac and I do some work camping, and so it's an RV park for 55 and up, and the lady that manages it, she's even learned like my tics. We talked about that in a previous episode. And sometimes people with functional neurological disorder, sorry, I'm having trouble talking today, get tics. And it can be vocal tics, almost like Tourette's. It can be physical tics. So my physical tics tend to be on the right side of my body. And so anything in this right hand right here it's going to sling it sometimes, or it's just going to do its own thing. And so we were saying something the other day to my park manager, and she laughed, and she was like, I've learned to stay away from her right hand. So it's just little things that you have to learn, or your family has to learn and adapt to. Unfortunately, most of my family I'm not close to. Mac's really not very close to his family either. We're kind of loners. We keep to ourselves, have a couple of people that we speak with, but I've lost a lot of people with this disorder because they don't understand it. And I know, like, reading on Facebook and other places, that's what people feel like, because a lot of their family members or friends feel like they're making this up. You know, you can't see it physically, so it must not be happening. And, you know, people struggle with mental illness, mental health, depression, anxiety. You know, people accept that. They think that's real. But they just can't believe that your brain can malfunction the rest of your body. And mine very much wreaks havoc to mainly the right side.
Another thing is if something happens as a caregiver, husband, spouse, wife, partner, whatever, if they get sick enough to have to go to the hospital, you will have to argue with doctors. Because a lot of the doctors says, oh, it's all in your head. It's all in her head. It's all in her head. Mm-hmm. And I had a doctor do that, and I told him, I said, no, it's not. I said, you need to call her primary care. And I made him call her primary care right there on the spot, so that, because I'm not going to sit here and listen to somebody say that she's crazy or it's all in her head. That's not happening. I will step up and say, no, you don't see this. You know, you don't feel what she feels. You don't wake up and can't see. You don't not be able to use your right side. There's a lot of times when I have to help her to bed, have to help her off the couch and get her into bed, because she cannot move. She cannot move her right side, or either she has vertigo. A couple of weeks ago,
I hate vertigo.
She actually had PNES, which is what? I can't remember.
Psychogenic seizures. We talked about that in my last video.
Non-epileptic seizures. It's where she has only fallen asleep in the vehicle with me one time, and that she had the flu then. And
we've been together 26 years, y'all. Yeah. So
yes,
one time.
And the other day, she couldn't keep her eyes open in the truck. Mm-hmm. She kept falling asleep, and it was like you had to have to watch her, because she would be chewing her food and just fall out chewing her food, and I'd have to make sure she'd wake up and chew her food and swallow it, because I didn't want her to get choked.
Yeah.
So, you know, and another thing, like on the way down here, you need to find something for them to concentrate on whenever you're going on long trips or you're in very busy traffic, because very busy traffic gives her anxiety very bad.
Or it messes with my vision.
Or it messes with her vision. So if she had her computer in her lap, she has a laptop, she had her little stuffy, and she just had everything she needed right there to where it would keep her mind off of the traffic for the most part. Yeah. And so we made it down here. Of course, I always try to take back roads anyway, try to take 2-lane, but we ended up getting down and had to come down Interstate 16, so it started getting very busy right before we got to Savannah. But just my final words, just be patient and learn the symptoms, and learn the symptoms as they're coming on, not when they've been full-fledged. It'll take you a while to do that, but learn them as they are coming on. That way you can help stop them before they actually become full-fledged.
Well, I think we're getting close to about 15 minutes. I wanted to just take a minute and kind of go over FND and from a caregiver's point of view. Where we live, we do not have internet, so I have to go to something like Starbucks or a place that has Wi-Fi to be able to upload any videos. And the longer they are, the harder it is to upload. And I'm going to do one more before we head out, and it's just going to be like a fun one between Mac and I, how long we've been together, some of the things we've done or seen. just tell you about us, and y'all can watch it or skip it or however you want to do. But thank you for hanging in there with us. I hope this helps with any caregiver situations, how they can help be aware. And if anyone wants to see any content from the Foley House Inn, please let us know. I may do a short little video. Like I said, I don't know how to edit. There's no microphones. Like, you're just on a stand with a light ring. So we're just learning, and we just want to talk about it and raise awareness.
And being recorded with a phone, not actual video camera, just a phone.
You're just on the iPhone. That's all you are.
But this place is very beautiful.
Yeah.
This place is amazing.
Yeah. Right out here is the terrace, and the Savannah Theater, the historic Savannah Theater, is also on the square. And one of the big churches is on the square, but it's called the Foley House Inn, and they ran a special on booking.com, and we jumped on it.
Yeah, I think it was
something.
It was a little over $100 a night, but by the time all the taxes and the fees and everything, it jumps it up there. But
it's really, really nice.
It's
We're
very
so
well
excited
worth
to
the
be
money.
here. Yeah, we used to stay at Savannah Bed and Breakfast Inn, and that got sold. It is no longer there, and that was the best place to stay. But this is right in the heart of Savannah. You can walk to everything. We are going to do a dolphin cruise this afternoon. Tomorrow we actually are going to go to a show at the Savannah Theater, and it's called Rewind. And so they sing 70s, 80s, and 90s, something like that. And we've been before several years ago, and there was a lady named Miss Huxley who did an amazing version of Midnight Train to Georgia. So I'm hoping she's still there and we get to hear her sing that again. And then we're just gonna hang out. We got a couple little things to do. The rest of the stuff we're gonna do is free. We are on a budget, so we just happened to catch a really good deal on this place right here on booking.com. So y'all keep your eye out if it's something you want to go.
And none of these places are sponsoring us.
Yeah.
This is brand new.
Yeah.
And I guess my final words is just always be patient, be kind, and love everyone. It doesn't matter who they are.
That's right.
Everyone needs love, so love everyone.
Like Brothers Osborne says, not for everyone. Sometimes you're not going to be everyone's person. Like somebody's going to meet you and they're not going to like you because of your sexuality or your religion or your race or the fact that you have an invisible illness. You're not guaranteed to be liked. And unfortunately, people like me, I'm a Cancer, so I wear my heart on my sleeve. We can take it to heart, but just surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people who love you, that get you and what you're going through, and don't judge you for it. And if the people around you are doing that to you, unfortunately, you may have to reevaluate your situation. That may not be your tribe. You might need to reach out on, if there's any Discord, Facebook, not Facebook, or Discord or Facebook groups that you can reach out to other people, especially if you're newly diagnosed or if you're a lot younger than me and diagnosed. I know that's got to be hard. But anyway, we're going to say goodbye, and then we're going to do another video really quick before we head out on a little mini trip. Thanks, guys.